TradePix will be profitable with equal past performance. All right, let's take a look and see what happened in the market since we left. Let's see, this refresh. So spiders basically flat, right? These are 1 hour chart, 1 hour candlesticks. So we haven't really trading in a very narrow range, right? 530 to 536, within 1% for quite a few hours now, all the way to Thursday of last week. So since Thursday, kind of consolidation, losing momentum, facing a lot of overhead resistance at 537, 538, right? That's the pullback. Tomorrow we have CPI data, PPI data, right? Let's just confirm that. Yeah, tomorrow's the PPI data. I mean, PPI data it could cause volatility, right? I think more people look at CPI kind of expectation on PPI. The producer, price index prices are trending lower, right? But they're trending lower. I think any big positive or negative surprise obviously could, spark the volatility. But if it comes in within expectations and doesn't change the probabilities of the rate cut, I think it'll be not an event. Wednesday we have inflation, CPI data, and we have VIX expiration. I think that can create more volatility, right? And then same thing, initial claims, retail data. So Thursday, Friday, I would expect the market either to break, right, try to close the first gap, right, around 543 on spiders. We're either going to be at 543, 548, or we're going to be retesting 520 or 510 level, right? Those are probably the outcomes for the next week. And you can see people are, hesitant taking any large positions. Small caps pull back 1%. Regional banks finally followed, right? They were up, but they pulled back. Gold miners, you have moved to the upside. Silver moved to the upside with the anticipation of CPI data. Let's look at the silver. So silver is down significantly. Let's see anything else. Let me look at my position. It's kind of similar price action last year, right? Sold off towards the middle of August, and then on CPI data, PPI data, we had a quick recovery. Spiders is probably the same thing. Pull back and then rally. Short-term rally. All right, so that's silver. So obviously it is sensitive to interest rate, right? So last August, in the middle of August, CPI, PPI came in better than expected. The market did rebound, recovering 2/3 of the losses, right, towards the end of the August. So we'll see if this is similar price action this year, right? Kind of almost. Right, we're following almost to the day. LA Lily, let's look at LA Lily. So I'm long LA Lily, I'm long silver. LA Lily looks strong, right? Got about 50-day moving average after the earnings, got a few upgrades. Silver looks like it's rebounding, right? So we'll see. At the end of this week, it could continue that rebound. What else? Small caps, some short small caps. They look like they're underperforming, right? It looks like it's kind of actually off the 50-day moving average, right? Unable to break to the 50-day moving average, pull back today 1%. Going into the PPI print, it's very sensitive to interest rates. I do have a put spread on Spiders. Spiders kind of, in the past 4 days, kind of not going anywhere, right? Since Friday, basically. Since Friday, we're at Friday's close, of last Friday's close. Not 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on the unemployment data. And QQQ is similar. It's trading right at that print. So everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting. Let's, okay, so Home Depot, we talked about 8% move. We talked about these strikes. So I'm going to do a butterfly in my own personal account since, I have more funds. Let's try to look at that. Okay, so implied volatility 7 to 8% move. Let's look at now my calculation of the implied move using the at the money options. Home Depot, August 16th. The earnings from last week. Yeah, finance time. Sorry. So Home Depot is sitting at 200-day moving average, pretty weak. Let's see. So 345 is trading at 345. Let's do my calculations. So it's $9 at the money straddle. 9 plus 9 is 18, and then 15. 18 plus 15, right? 9 plus 9 is 18, so 15. 18 plus 15 is 33. So 9%, right? 33. 19 plus 15. 19 plus 15 is 34, right? 19 plus 15 is 34. So 34, 10%. So 10%. 33, 34. So trading at 344, $34 would be 380, right? So 375, 380 is where the highest open interest is. And then $30 to the downside, that would be 315. Right? If high open interest 330, that's close, but 315, that looks like pretty well positioned. And people are, they are not selling, this is all dealers along the gamma. Dealers along the gamma. So let's look at the lie in middle strikes is 35, let's say 380. Only 25, so I can do it actually cheap. 85, 80 cents. So I'll sell maybe 375 strike. 375, this looks like a lot of position at 375. And then maybe buy 367 or 370. So 370, that's probably not close enough. So let's do 7.5. That's like 2% divided of the strikes. So here is 7.5, 7.5, 382.5. We don't have 382.5. So let's do 385. $10. So we'll do that. Let's do equidistant, $5. So it's a $10 spread, right? You sell 375, you buy 385, and you buy 365. So $10 apart. Debit of 83 cents. Debit of 83 cents. So that would be the butterfly in Home Depot. So the middle strike is 385. Sorry, 375 is the middle strike. 375, 365, 385. $0.77. Okay. So let's see if I was able to get filled for 80. Yeah, so I got filled for 80 cents. On the call spread, obviously, I think risk is actually to the downside. Retail sales could be weak because the economy is slowing down. So we could have a kind of a weak print. So 375, 380. So 315, let's see, 315, probably not a lot of price for that strike, unfortunately. I know for puts, for puts it's actually pretty high. Also, look like there's a skew to the put side, right? A lot more people are buying puts, and these options are more expensive, meaning that people are hedging aggressively the put side. Okay. So 310, let's do the same thing. 310, 320. 310, 320, and then 300. Put spread, 300. Let's see, what does that cost? 50 cents. Okay, so if I choose 310, actually the short strike, then do 320, the long, maybe even 325. So that would be the put side, right? 320, 310, 300, with the middle strike being at this level, right? 315, 310. That it's not gonna, because dealers are pretty well positioned at this level, right? That it will not go much further. I mean, you do have September actually 300, so it could get to 300 and even lower, because you do have pretty large positioning here. But that's September expiration. We'll see. But 9% move 344, right? We calculated that, right? 344 times 0.09. It's about $30, right? So it's about 315. But obviously, this is just distribution of outcomes, right? It doesn't have to be this way, but the setup is vulnerable, right? It's oversold, right? Home Depot is extremely oversold. So any positive news that you could get, 375, 380, I think it's reasonable. And on the downside, we could either retest the lows or May lows or actually break them. So that's kind of would be my thought process. Anand is another pretty volatile name. I mean, Anand time, 10 cents is pretty volatile. This is on-air sneakers. They're extremely volatile during earnings. Let's see if we want to participate in this guy. I mean, I have a pair. All my friends have a pair. I mean, everybody has a pair of these sneakers, so they're pretty volatile. Surprisingly, there is no negative, right? Surprisingly, there's really not a lot of negative position in Anand. Take screenshots of these guys. Anand. And Home Depot. All right, so implied move for Anand, probably 20%. This is very volatile stock. 15-17%. Okay. Let's look at the chains. $40 strike, 2 plus 2.5, so 4.5, 6.5, 8.5, so 20%. So about 20% move. 20% would be 48.50, and voila, 50 strike is the middle strike, right? So any positive news, and it could end up at 50, and there's actually higher demand for calls than puts, unlike Home Depot. Okay. Let's look at on. Same thing, butterfly. Calls. It's middle strike 50. So if I go to the 50 strike, yeah, 13 cents, it's about 30 basis points. That sounds right. Let's see, 48 strike, 47, 34. And 53. 53, 55. So, okay, let's see, 45, 45, 50, 55, 35 cents. Okay, $72. Okay, so I'm going to do equidistance 45, 50. I mean, you have large position at 45, relatively large position, not a lot, but obviously 45, 50, and strikes. So 45, 50, and 55, that it will stay in this range, right? As long as it stays in the range, then this will be a profitable trade. All right, so let me see if I can put it for 35 cents. $35 will not work. Let's see, 40 cents. Will 40 cents do? Yeah, 40 cents works. So you can do 45, 50, 55 call spread for 40 cents. And obviously, the economy is slowed down, the retail numbers are slowing down, so the surprise can come actually on the downside. So then I would do the same thing with puts. So middle strike, so 50, 10 to the right, 10 to the left would be 30 strike. Well, probably, but demand is less, so I assume there's not much premium on 30 puts. So it's 9 cents, so 30. So you do have the first strike is 35. First strike is 35, so you can do 35, 35, 30, 25 put. Same thing, 40 cents. 35, 30, 25. So here it's this guy. So you would have to stay 35, 30, 25. So it's either here or here, right? So you could move 20% to the upside, 20% to the downside, but as long as it doesn't trade outside of these ranges, right? This is where I'm not going to make money, this is I'm not going to make money, and this is I'm not going to make money. But somewhere in these areas, if there's a positive or negative surprise, then potentially I could. Looks like it's 45 cents. Oh no, 40. Actually, I got filled for 40. Got filled for 40. Any questions? Any questions on or Home Depot? Hi, Fred, Bob. A lot of these real estate companies have been on the tear. Here's some of you want to look on a couple large cap companies, AVB, IRM. All right, so REITs are interest sensitive. So we talked about that this morning. VT, where is it? VNQ, sorry, VNQ. Some of the better sectors this year related to the drop in interest rates. AVB has been on the radar. I've seen AVB. Similar price action. IRM. High dividend paying where you get your, not very liquid, so you have to be careful of liquidity, but in terms of yield, 264 yield, IRM. I know VTR, we talked about VTR. No, we did not talk about VTR. So more liquid, 3% yield. So VTR looks UDR. So similar. They're all very strong, maybe similar liquidity. Market paper, this one is, some of them pay 4%, some of them pay 2%, some of them pay 3% dividend. Thank you, Bob. Yeah. So on Butterfly that I selected, so what did I say? 45 on, I did 50, I did 50, sell to open 50. So 45, I did 45, 50, 55. So I bought 45 one time, I sold 2, 50, and 1 for 32 cents. I'm trading at 32 cents right now. With the idea that it's not going to breach the 50 level, right? That's where the highest open interest is. Right, so majority of the people think that it could get to 50, right? In terms of strike price, where there's a high concentration of gamma, right? And dealers are actually, there is some put selling, but here they're long gamma. The long gamma. So most likely it's people are selling 50 call against their positions. This real estate about Lali. Thank you. So the put side is similar trade, just the other way, 25, 30, 35, 30, 25, right? So 35, you have high concentration in 35. You have 30, high concentration in 30. Not high, but relatively high. $35, 30, 25, right? 35, 30, 25. 35, 30, 25. 45, 50, 55. Okay. Can you analyze SOUM? SOUM. SoundHound. Haven't traded SoundHound AI package software. I assume something was AI. Pretty liquid. It's a small cap to $1 billion. It's negative earnings per share. Hasn't done anything since March, basically. So $5 stock. I mean, earnings are coming up. Well, they had earnings, right? They had earnings, didn't go anywhere. So for now, I would wait. It trades in the range, right? It trades between $4 and $6. So if you're a short-term aggressive trader, maybe sell short at 6 and buy at 4. If you're a long-term investor, you want to wait till it breaks above 6 or breaks below 3.5. All right, because right now it's stuck in the range since basically March, right? Since this earnings. I mean, Palantir, if you're looking for AI, I assume this is AI play. Let's just SoundHound. All right, what does SoundHound do? For voice AI. So voice over IP, I mean voice software, maybe translating, commercialize of voice, sound, natural language, artificial intelligence related. Then data center, right? You have this natural language models that analyze customer conversations. They can build the scripts and transcribe what everybody says and help customer service answer. Very popular, very crowded space. Very popular, very crowded space. I mean, this has been, available for years now, but obviously with latest language model advances and ChatGPT, it's getting more attention. Went public in 22. It's still kind of not going anywhere. I mean, this is not a good chart, right? It's not a good chart. So for now, it's stuck in the range between 6.5 and 3.5. So I assume it's going to trade here for the next few months. But no. NVIDIA earnings this week? I don't think so. I think it's right where in Jackson Hole. NVIDIA is end of August. So we have a couple weeks left. August 24th. So we have 2 weeks left, a little bit less. AMET, I think this week we have AMET. AMET is coming up in August 15th, Thursday. So Thursday. Applied Materials will announce earnings. Also got beat up along with other earnings plays. Down 0.5%. Consumer staples looks like rolling over. Spiders are slightly negative, not a big deal. Daily stocks are down. QQQ is flat. Didn't go anywhere. Semiconductors are. So everybody's waiting for tomorrow announcement. So we'll do the same. Let's wait for tomorrow. I do have hedges, right? So just to recap positions from this morning, I closed half of the position at 3.30, but I have a put spread. So I do have 465, 470 put spread, trying to close at $4. I have Spiders put spread. Sorry, I have Spiders. I have IWM. So still bearish on IWM. IWM pulled back today. So still bearish on IWM to 10 to 15 call spread, and still bearish on Spiders put spread. I have 484. Doesn't sound right. $540. I have 540, 525 put spread. Any questions? Dell took a dive. I mean, a lot of semiconductors, AI stocks, if they had very high valuation, they took a deep dive. So looks like they lost half its value from the peak. Almost half its value. Any other questions? 247, let's see how the market closed. Any questions? So I'm just watching the QQQ and spiders. Not much change. There are no other changes than questions. Okay, that's all I have for today. Let's keep an eye on PPI data, tomorrow's CPI data, VIX expiration on Wednesday. All of those can cause spark in volatility. All right, thank you very much and have a great day.